Hello Virgos! We are going to jump right in and find out what is going on for you. For those of you that are interested in cards, I am pulling from Doreen Virtue's Fairy Tarot cards and her Mary, Queen of Angels, and Archangel Michael Oracle cards. I have also prayed over, shuffled the Sibyllahs, Lenormands, and my Findicicles. So as we need clarifiers, we will pull from those. I've asked that each of you get at least one message. You should get more than that though. So what we have here is we have your situation, the foundation and what has led to the situation, what is blocking you, what is unknown to you, and then what the angels are recommending that you do. Now you have two summer cards, traditional tarot. This would be cups, emotions. You have a spring, that would be wands, fire, and then you have an autumn card, which would be coins, earth. Now for your situation right out the gate, you have 5 of summer, and at the bottom it says, trust that there is a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others, focusing on that which frightens or worries you. And you know, we should always be in like a state of calmness and a state of peace. But when we're really worried and afraid and upset and distraught, we won't be calm, we won't be peaceful. And what we will do is we will just focus in on those things that are upsetting us and making us unhappy. And that's where you're at, because a number of you are going through some heartbreak right now. You've had like a breakup, a loss, an emotional loss, and you're really focused on the things that you don't have. You're focused on how things are not going well, things are not going in your favor, things are, you feel like things are just falling apart in shambles. So you're not feeling optimistic. You're not looking at the potential opportunities and things that you have. See how she's in a fight or flight kind of stance? She's like really torn, not really knowing what to do. I don't know if I should bolt out of here. I don't know if I should stay in here. I don't know what the heck is going on. I've got too much anxiety, too much worry, too much fear. It's just spiraling out of control and I'm just stuck. Now in the traditional tarot or gilded, this is, you know, it's crying over spilt milk. So you'll have that figure and he has, you know, the cups that are spilt over in front of him, and he just keeps staring at those because that's the loss. That's all he can focus on. While meanwhile, he's got a couple cups behind him that are upright. At any point, he can turn away from the things that he's lost because he doesn't even realize the new things that he has behind him. And that's where a number of you are at. You have lost someone. A situation has not gone in your favor, and you're totally focused on that. See how she's even like kind of facing the past. Her arm's kind of swinging to the future, but she's not swung around the future yet. She's not swung around to the opportunities that she has. And what has led to this, you have the 7 of summer. And at the bottom, it says, no more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion that arises from over-analyzing the options. And this really is about too many options. Evaluating a large number of options. This is, you know, it also speaks about there being pros and cons to everything. Like, no matter what it is in life, it can be work, it can be career, it can be jobs, it can be a relationship, it can be, hey, do I have kids? Do I go on this vacation? Do I get this certificate? Everything has a pro and a con. So sit down and do your T-chart. Is it balanced? Are there more pluses than negatives? But this situation, it was off balance. There were more cons than negatives. And for a number of you, you are procrastinating, making a decision at this point, turning away from the cups that have spilled over because you're procrastinating, but they're trying to get you to stop procrastinating. This is a card that also speaks of our personal power. See how he has like this light coming from the tip of his finger, and it's like honing in, like I am focused. I've got like laser focus on something, you know, really honing in, making a choice, deciding what you want, making a plan to obtain that, and then doing that. Because the opposite is, you know, overanalyzing, wishful thinking, just having our eyes in the sky, never really making a decision. Like traditional tarot, or I love my gilded tarot, you know, it has a figure where they're standing there and they have these 7 cups that are floating above their head. And it's kind of like shiny squirrel syndrome. Like, ooh, I want that one. I want that one. Ooh, but I like that one. But I want that one. Ooh, I don't know which one I want. They're all so lovely. There were too many choices. And For some of you, it was love. It was too many choices in people. There were multiple parties, and you were not chosen. They chose someone else. And feel free to change the sexes accordingly. I go by what's on the cards and what I'm getting and being told. But if it sounds like your situation, sexes are different, go for it, change it. But I get that he chose a different woman. He chose someone else. For some, he was already bound, already connected to, in a marriage, in a commitment already to someone else. But that is what has led to your heartbreak, because there were too many choices, because you were not chosen. And for some of you, it could be that, you had some choices and, maybe you were trying to decide. I get for most of you, though, this is love. So I'm going to throw this out there. Maybe someone can pick up a little something that's not love related, but for majority of you, this is love related. But maybe you were trying to decide on jobs. Maybe there were a number of jobs and you just kept procrastinating. You weren't having the laser-like focus because you were like, I'm not sure, that one looks good, that one looks good. And, I don't really know. Since you spent so much time over analyzing and overthinking and not making a decision, you no longer have the opportunity that you really wanted. It's gone. You've lost out on that, which is why you're still in this state of emotional upset. Same thing. Those cups in front of you have tipped over. Those are no longer opportunities for you. But you have 2 other opportunities right behind you. But it does take turning around to realize, not all is lost. I haven't lost everything. It's okay. I'm still good. But what is blocking you is you have 3 of spring, and at the bottom it says, plan your next steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience. There are more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. I'm noticing right off the bat that there's all this purple. A lot of you are hoping that this situation will transform, that it will blossom into a new beginning. But this card, in its meaning with this deck, it's all about really working hard to accomplishing something, really putting in a lot of work, and, really wanting to reap our rewards. But those rewards taking a little bit of time. Like, you've invested a lot, you've put a lot in there, but you're not going to see the return on that investment just yet. But during that experience, you've gained a lot of knowledge, and you now have some insight that you can use for future endeavors, future successes. But in the meantime, all you can do is have patience right now with the situation. But a lot of you want assured confidence that this is going to be a success. Like, you've invested in it and you want to know what the outcome is and you want to see the outcome right now, but you're not at this point seeing it. And there's some information you're not receiving at this point as well. And it is hard to sit still and wonder what is the outcome going to be, because when you have invested a lot in something, and I get for some of you that this was love, it's like he up and went in a different direction and you still don't even have like the clarity and information on it, but you're hoping, like, these are beautiful cherry blossoms, you're hoping that this is going to transform, it's going to blossom, you've got like this little butterfly, you're hoping, and for some of you, you're hoping that it will lead to a new home, to a commitment. You see, you've got this home in the background. For some of you, you're hoping, like, I've invested so much with him. I want to marry him. I want to have this foundation with him. I know he's not there right now. I know I'm alone right now. And I feel like I'm left holding the bag. See, she's got both of her hands holding these cherry blossoms up. I feel like I'm holding things up and I'm also trying to entice him back, but I don't have any clarity. See how cloudy it is above that castle? You just feel like I have no clarity. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he left. I don't know why I'm alone. It was going so well. But here I am, alone, without the rewards. They're saying that this is what's blocking you. What is blocking you is you are so, like, you know, she's like staring straight ahead, very intense, like, you are so, let me see if you guys can see that. Okay. You are so focused on, is this going to work? Is he going to come back? Is this going to turn around? Is this going to happen? That you aren't moving forward and doing the things that they're wanting you to do. You're not doing your healing. You're not doing, you're not finding like gratitude and thankfulness for the other things that you have in your life. Because for some of you, this has spiraled you down into a state of depression and sadness. and you're on your own, kind of like wallowing in despair. And for some of you, what's blocking you is 3. There's a third party. He's married to someone else. He's in a relationship, in a home, in a foundation with someone else. Some of you don't know. Okay, most of you don't know that. You are not aware of that. But that's what's blocking you. You're hoping that it's going to turn around. You're hoping that he's going to come back. You're hoping that things will blossom. You will get this happy ending that you have worked so hard for and that you desire. But at this point, you don't know the outcome, and you don't have the clarity. And all that you can do at this point is just take the things that you have learned from this experience to better yourself, to heal yourself, and to prepare for the future. Be it with someone else for most of you. We'll come back to the rest of you on that other part of it. We'll rally back around to that at the end. So for many of you, this is preparing to take what you have learned to use with someone else. I know, those of you that just heard that, you're like, but we want to know about the other half. I know, patience, all good things will come. They want to tie it though to something toward the end. So that's good. You get to not have to hear me repeat stuff. It's a win-win, right? Okay, now as far as what is unknown to you, you have 7 of Autumn. And at the bottom it says, have patience. Again, patience twice. Take time to rest and plan your next steps. A prudent investment of time or money. And you see him, he's just chilling out on top of this pumpkin. You know, he's put a lot of time in, a lot of effort in, he's invested things, but it's going to take a little time for him to see his harvest. And sometimes, you know, the things that are the best rewards, the grace, like look how huge that pumpkin is. I mean, that's a prize-winning pumpkin there. But it takes time for it to ripen. It takes time for it to grow. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't just plant your seeds and bam, the next day you walk out and you have this massive award-winning pumpkin. It takes time. Things move slowly. And when things are moving slowly, we get really frustrated and irritated. Because we're at a point now that we want instant gratification. We want things now, we want them right away. But this is not a situation where you're going to have what you want right now, right away. You do need to have patience. You need to wait for things to come to fruition, for the things that you desire to manifest. And you may have planted seeds, you may have put in a lot of work and effort, but for some of you, there needs to be a reevaluation of your plan and some adjustments. And some of you, a complete change of plans so that you're ready for the next time to plant your seeds and prepare for harvest. But it's about diligence, not giving up, not over worrying, not over stressing. It can also be, you know, assessing the investment. You know, did it yield what you expected? Because for some of you, you had certain expectations. You expected this to work out and it didn't. Why didn't it? You know, really look at the T-chart. Was it a balanced give and take? Because if it wasn't, and it's not turned out as you hoped that it would turn out, what can you do differently next time? What are some, you know, maybe some red flags or things that you can look for next time? What are things that you can do to do some inner healing and prepare yourself for next time? Because sometimes we're just so excited about the harvest. We're so excited to get that end point. Like you could be so excited to move forward with this love of a lifetime, that you don't do a balance sheet. You're just so excited to get to the end that you're not sitting back and looking and realize, oh wow, this isn't balanced. Or, you know, I planted the seeds, but he never came through and watered them, so they died. They started to bloom, but since he didn't water, because we were working on this garden together, it was a joint effort. So I went out and I planted those seeds, and oh, I wish them each love. And they started to bloom. They were about an inch out of the ground, but then he didn't come through and water them because he was busy watering someone else's garden, or because he was busy with other things that just didn't think about it, because it really didn't matter. It wasn't at that level of importance or significance. So it withered up and died. But you didn't notice that he wasn't watering them because you were so excited. All you could do is picture this abundant harvest that you're going to have. You're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. I'm going to have an award-winning pumpkin. Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. Not realizing it wasn't growing. It wasn't growing. So for some of you, it was like one-sided. And this is what you're unaware of. So for some of you, what you're unaware of, to get the things that you want, the things that you desire, You do need to evaluate everything, evaluate your plan, evaluate your next steps. So for some of you, your next steps are really, we're going to cover those, but there's some healing that needs to be done. Gratitude, shifting your perspective, coming back into a place of optimism and a place of hope. Because he's almost kind of like hopeful. He's just sitting there, he's just chilling. He's eating his apples. He's like, you know what? It's going to work out when the time is right. When the time is right, it's all going to be good. But in the meantime, I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to nourish myself. I'm going to nourish my body and my soul. And I'm not going to really worry about any of that other stuff. I'm going to take care of me. That's what some of you need to do. You're not doing that because you're still spinning out of control, wondering about this person. And some of you are going to be discovering that indeed there was a third party. Someone else was chosen. For some, you're going to find out that that person's married to someone else. They're committed to someone else. You did not know that. Now, you had a feeling. Those of you in that situation, you had a feeling that something was going on. So for those of you in this situation, you've known, but you haven't wanted to see it because, again, you were very focused on the harvest, very focused on the outcome. And as humans, that is something. Like if we just meet someone that makes our heart pitter-patter, and we just, oh my gosh, we're like blown away. Like they are what I've always wanted. They're the perfect complement of me. They're it. They're the one. It does make us throw all common sense and rational thinking and logical thinking out the window. We are all in our feminine, lovey-dovey, emotional side. But we have to come back into balance and look at things logically and everything in life. Now, as far as what it is that they are recommending that you do, you guys actually received a second card. We also only got 3. You have blessings. And it says at the bottom, today I count my blessings, small and large, and I notice the new gifts that come to me from God. And this is really about coming back into a state of gratitude, being thankful for the things that we have. Because again, some of you are so focused on what you've lost, what you don't have, that you're not realizing all the good things that you have, the blessings that you do have. You're feeling sorry for yourself. You're in a pity, poor me state. And some of you are feeling like your prayers are being ignored. You're like, I don't think anyone upstairs is paying attention anymore. I think they're tuning me out. And it makes me want to kind of rip my hair out because I've just had it. I've had it. I pray. I hope. I visualize. I'm doing all these things. I'm trying to bring this together and this is just not happening. And they're ignoring me. Y'all are ignoring me and I've had it. But they're not ignoring you. They are working on answering your prayers. You're just going to have them be answered a little bit differently than you're expecting them to be answered. Because many of you in this situation, you've got some serious expectations of how you want things to go down. But be flexible. Give them room to answer your prayers because they will answer them in a miraculous divine way. And you will find out that it's going to be better than what you anticipated and expected. But you need to give them some leeway to do that. You can't, like, if you're doing a manifestation list, you can't be like, okay, I want a man who's 6'3", and he has to have blue eyes, and he has to work for this company, and he has to make this much money, and he has to drive this type of car, and he has to have no kids, and he has to be from a family that's very large. And because if you put all these expectations, and you have all this criteria, well, maybe the love of a lifetime, maybe a soulmate type of love, maybe a divine love that they have for you doesn't fit in that box. Maybe the person that you're destined for doesn't meet that criteria. So what happens is the angels and God and Jesus are like, well, my hands are tied because, dang, she's put together one heck of a long list. I mean, you drag that bad boy out, it's like a scroll that rolls a couple blocks down the road. So she's limited us so much that we just can't find her anybody. Because we know it's going to make her happy. All those parameters, they're not going to work. So we're going to have to hold off on this love of a lifetime because she's not, her expectations are too high, too tight, too stringent, too rigid. She's not helping us help her. And that's where some of you are at this point. Be open, allow God, allow the angels to answer your prayers in the ways that they are going to answer it. Because they are. They've heard you. You still have blessings to be thankful for. And also to shift your perspective from, what's gone wrong, what you've lost, what you're missing out on, what you do not have, to being thankful for what you do have. Because when we are in a state of loss, I don't have love, I don't have a relationship. I don't have the best job. I don't have the job that I want. I don't have this family that I want. I don't have the car that I want. Well, what happens is we start to notice in our life, we just getting a whole bunch of stuff that we don't want. Because that's what they're telling, that's what we are telling the universe that we want. I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. So we keep getting more I don't have, I don't have. If we can shift that perspective to, I am so thankful that I have a roof over my head. I'm so thankful that I have a car that runs. I am so thankful that I have a job. I am thankful that I have a family that loves me. I am thankful that I have friends that love me and would do anything for me. If you can shift and start focusing on the things that you do have instead of what you do not have, you will notice more of the things that you've been praying for and asking for will start to manifest. They'll start to come in because you're coming from a place of, I have abundance. I have everything I need. I have everything I want versus I lack everything. I don't have anything. Focus on shifting that perspective because that's going to shift this and that's going to shift everything else. Because a lot of you, because you are so focused on this situation and you're focused on lack and what you don't have and worry and all that, it is affecting other areas of your life. So some of you are starting to have some issues with money, and some of you are even starting to have some like conflict and issues with friends. Switching your perspective is going to fix it all. Just try it. Just because they're saying some of you don't want to do that. So try it. Do it for 2 weeks. Get a gratitude journal. I think you're like the third sign that has to start doing a gratitude journal. So go get a notebook. Go to the store, get a tiny little notebook. Maybe it's something you can carry in your car, in your purse. If you're a guy, it probably won't fit in your back pocket. Throw it in your car. Or even use it at the end of the night. So you have a couple ways you can do a gratitude journal. You can write down the things that you are grateful for all day long. As something pops up, write it down. That way you'll get a thorough list. Or you can do the list at the end of the evening. Like if you have some routine, maybe you brush your teeth and you wash your feet and you jump in bed, you do your evening prayers. Well then, after your prayers, write down the things that you're grateful for. But do that every day. Every day for 2 weeks. Commit to me that you will do it for 2 weeks. And then I want to hear back from you in 2 weeks in this reading how your life has started to shift. But for 2 weeks, every single day, write down what you are grateful for, what you are thankful for. It may be small in the beginning. It may be, I'm thankful that, it didn't rain on us today. I'm thankful that the sun was out today. I'm thankful that it's cold in Ohio, but I have a fireplace that's controlled with an electronic remote that warms up me and my puppies. I am thankful for my Starbucks coffee. Whatever it is that you're thankful for. Initially, it's going to be small, and you have to write stuff that you're thankful for every day, even if it's small. But you'll find that the things you're thankful for, the list is going to grow. As you do this every day for 2 weeks, the list will get longer, and the things that you are grateful for will become larger. Like you might start out in the beginning of the week, I'm glad someone opened the door for me when I walked into the store today. And then toward the end of the 2 weeks, you may find, I am so thankful for that new job offer that I received. Because you have to switch your energy. And the way you shift that is starting to be thankful. Be in a place of gratitude. So for those of you that this is applying, do your gratitude journal and come back in 2 weeks and tell me how it shifted things for you, because I can't wait to hear how it's going to positively shift things for you. It's going to get you out of this woe is me state, which is where a lot of you are right now. You have card 37, the never-ending story. You feel like you're on a vicious cycle. This is all about self-criticism, drama, unnecessary drama, a wounded ego. It's kind of like a story that we continue to replay in our mind. You see how she's got her hands on her head? It's just like we play it over and over again. Like, I'm not good enough. I always lose out on love. No one wants me. I can't ever make anything work. Everything just falls apart. That old story, that old tale that we spin, but it's not a true tale. But it's something because when we are in a state of loss that we're just like, oh, not again, not again. But that's not true. The world's not ending. The sky is not falling. Everything is not ended in your life. You're okay. You're going to be fine. But to shift this, to get yourself out of this vicious cycle that you are in, you have to heal your heart. Because this has been triggered by love, heartbreak. So now you're spiraling down this, path that's really all about not loving yourself, not thinking that you're worthy of love. And you are worthy of love, and you're amazing. But right now, your self-esteem's pretty low, and you've kind of closed yourself off. Not only have you closed yourself off from this person, but you have closed yourself off from family, friends. A lot of you have become like a hermit. You're just gone inward, hanging out at home all the time, just really turning this into almost like a nightmare for yourself. But it's a nightmare for yourself because you're tearing yourself down. You're making yourself think that you are not good enough. Again, like it's some old never-ending story. So take this time to focus on, why is it you feel that you're not worthy of love? What is it that you're telling yourself about love? Because, sometimes, maybe we grew up in a broken household. Maybe, our parents divorced because of cheating, infidelity. And maybe this person, because for some of you, they did leave you for someone else. So maybe you're spinning this old tale in your story of like, men can't be counted on, men can't be trusted. I'm never going to find a man, and I'm always going to be alone because, men aren't faithful and men are cheaters and liars, and that's what they always do. Well, if that's the story you're spinning and you're telling yourself, that's the story you will weave. That's what you will live. That's what you will experience. What are the stories that you're telling yourself about love? For some of you, it could be you're spinning stories to yourself of, maybe your parents were very critical of you. And they made you feel like you just weren't good enough. No matter how hard you tried, no matter how much you invested, it just wasn't good enough. You just never added up. So now you tie that to all other areas in life. I'm not good enough. I can't get love. I can't get a job. No one's ever going to want me. No one's ever going to want to be with me because I'm not up to par. I'm not worthy of that. You are worthy of that, but you need to remember that. You need to know that. And it all begins with digging deep, really looking, what is the core story that you are telling yourself about love and connection and abandonment and loneliness and rejection and sorrow? What is keeping you in this state? Because once you see the story that you are telling yourself, then you can recreate and you can change that story. Because then you can begin new. And you can tell yourself better narratives of men can be counted on. Men can be faithful. Men can be loyal. There is such a thing as divine love. I can count on a man. I can rely on him to come and water my garden, water my seeds. I am worthy of love. I am amazing. I am worthy of giving love. I am worthy of receiving love. I am unconditional love. I am able to receive unconditional love. I am able to give unconditional love. Because for some of you, you're going to start digging down deep and you're going to realize that you have walls built up. You won't allow any love in. But that again comes with tearing that wall down and changing your narrative. What's that never-ending story you keep telling yourself? Change it. You don't have to have the same story. Sometimes when I do energy healing sessions, I'll go in and I'll look at someone's past life and I'll know that there's like a thread, a similarity. So, maybe there's some infidelity that's run, maybe they've been cheated on in multiple lifetimes or something, but there's this thread. They've got this story. Why do some work to recreate that story so that they actually believe the opposite? That's what you need to do. And most of you can do it on your own. If you need a little help, call on Archangel Raphael. Archangel Raphael does healing. Always call on Jesus. He's an ultimate healer. And call on God. And then you can just call on all the, God's angels that are watching over you to help you, especially as healing angels, help you shift that story, change that story. Some of you may be guided to do some energy healing, but most of you can do it on your own. And it's really just taking that time to delve in deep. So let's see here. Your next card you have is a sense of humor. I know you're probably thinking Archangel Michael's got jokes. I tell him that all the time. But this is part of shifting your energy, getting yourself out of this state of sadness and despair. There is a prayer on the bottom. Thank you for helping me see the humor in the situation so that I can lovingly laugh at human nature. I am willing to view my experience in a new light in order to attract love and healing energy. Do something to make yourself laugh. It's going to, how you've got to be thankful for the things that you have. Abundance, blessings. to flip that switch, the other thing you need to do to flip that switch, you need to get yourself out of this negative, depressed, sad state. The way you do that is you start to laugh. You start to have fun. You can watch funny movies. You can watch funny sitcoms. You can dance. But do something that makes you laugh. Now, if you don't have time to dedicate to a whole 2-hour movie or a half-hour sitcom, or, you know, most sitcoms now are really heavy. I don't know how they would make you laugh anyhow. But if you don't have time to do that, it doesn't take a lot. Turn on something on a serious radio or on a radio station where they're cracking jokes, or some comedy station. Or you can even do something simple. Like sometimes what I will do if I'm really stressed, you know, I might dance with dogs or do silly things around the house. But I'll be sitting in my car and I'll look over and there'll be like other young kids. And so I'll start making faces. They start making faces back at me. Suddenly I'm cracking up because the kids can come up with some silly faces. And I'm laughing and they're laughing, and then suddenly they get their parents in it. I actually have this this red clown nose. Every once in a while, I pull my clown nose out and I just go for a drive. And I do it to adults too, and I like to do it when there's 2 people in the car. So like, you know, I'll look at the car next to me and like the passenger will look at me, and then I'll look away real quick and I'll put my clown nose on, and then I look back toward that passenger, and then they start cracking up. Then they start smacking the person in the car like, hey, look at this chick, look at her. She's a clown. And I turn away real quick and I take my nose off and I look over, and the person's looking like, what? And then they start getting into each other, and then eventually I put it back on, and we're all laughing because it's hilarious. I think it's funny. It makes me chuckle. So if I'm really stressed, worried, dealing with a lot, I do that. I laugh. I feel better. You need to start laughing. Don't take life and yourself so seriously. Next card we have is self-respect. Oh, the other thing that they're saying is remove yourself from it. Okay, which we'll cover more with this. But remove yourself from it. Start to, okay. When doing energy healing, it's interesting because I will see some very, very traumatic things. Sometimes I know that it's traumatic because there have been, come on, Ellie. There have been a couple of times that I haven't even seen the scenes yet, but the electricity in my house and sometimes houses around me will go down for like a few seconds. And then I'll hear Archangel Michael or Jesus come in and tell me, you're about to see something you're not going to like. And those are scenes that are very, very traumatic and brutal, and they're very vivid. I can see very traumatic rape, murder scenes, and I'm an empath, so you know, I pick up on people's feelings and emotions. But it's amazing when I do the healing work, because even though sometimes it bothers, obviously, my soul when I'm being warned I'm not going to like what I'm about to see, and electricity goes down in my house for a few seconds, it's because at a soul level, it breaks my soul and my heart to see that people can be that cruel. Humans can be that cruel. But I don't connect with it emotionally. Like I can see scenes, and for the most part, the other scenes, even though they're also still very traumatic, you know, rape and all these things happening, and physical abuse, and I see these things, I see them extremely vividly and clear. They don't pull me in emotionally. It's like watching a movie. It's like watching it from a distance. I'm emotionally separated from it. So for some of you, emotionally separate yourself from this situation and really look at it kind of like you're looking at like a movie. Really look at it, because then you can also, you might be able to find some humor in it. But even if very serious of heartbreak, it gives you a balanced, clear perspective. Kind of like, you know, so excited to jump into it, you haven't done your evaluation of the give and take. But you can look at it clearly and be like, oh, why? I see now things that I can change in the future. Oh, I see what, you know, next time I need to make sure he's watering the garden. Next time, you know what? I shouldn't just jump into and push a plan to start a garden with him, because he really wasn't into it. He just kind of looked at me like, I don't want to plant tomatoes. You really? But he didn't say anything, so I thought he was excited. But next time I'm going to be more into evaluating and see, like, is his heart in it? Does he want to plant a garden with me? Does he want to have ripe tomatoes? But you can look at it objectively because you've removed yourself emotionally from it. Do that. That'll help you. Last thing we have is self-respect. The prayer on the bottom is, Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see myself as you see me, through the eyes of love. Thank you for honoring and respecting me. Please guide me to do the same for myself, and grant me the courage to speak up on my own behalf. I ask for your protection in all of my relationships so that I am surrounded by loving and kind people. You're being advised to start respecting yourself, to know your worth, to know your value. Because this has been dysfunctional. You have not been valued. You have not been appreciated. And for some of you, it's really beat down your self-esteem. It's brought up those past fears that you have. Honor yourself. Know that you are worthy. Know that you're amazing. Leave this situation. Let this situation go. You know, because if somebody is not, and regardless of what the connection is, if someone is not treating us with love and respect, and that, you know, they adore us, they want to be with us, they're all in, they're super excited to plant that garden. If they are not all in and they are not giving that, you deserve more than that. You don't want to be with that, because who wants to build a relationship with someone and build a home with someone when they can't even plant a garden with us? They can't even remember to water the plants. If they can't remember to water the plants, there's no way they're going to remember to pay a mortgage. There's no way that they're going to remember to take the kids to school or pick them up, because they're not in it. You don't want to build a relationship and a foundation with someone that does not value you, that does not see your worth, someone that you feel that you have to drag them, you have to pull them, you have to prove to them that you're amazing. You are amazing. Remember that. Don't settle for less. You want to be with someone who respects you, values you, thinks that the sun rises and sets on you, even on a bad hair day with no makeup. You're worthy of that. Remember that. It's time to remember that. They were not treating you the way that you deserve and you should expect to be treated. You had expectations that you wanted a relationship, you wanted a commitment, but your expectations of, here's the type of love I deserve, I am worthy of so much, you didn't have that. But you deserve that. Focus on healing those things that are keeping you from that. Now, real quick, just in case there's any additional stuff they want to bring out, let's pull some. We'll do all four. I'm going to start with 5 of Summer. We'll work our way around. We have the La Mica. This is the friend. It's someone that you can trust. It's a solid relationship built on trust. We have the Morte, which is death, abandonment, complete detachment from a situation. And then we have the Belvedere. And this is the foresightedness, the looking out, the watching out for ourselves, you know, great ambition. So you had this relationship that you thought could be trusted, someone you thought could be trusted. However, it ended. But you're still looking, you're still hoping that maybe it will come together. Maybe it's going to work out. You haven't given up. 7 of Summer. Okay, so we have the Prigione, the prisoner. And then we have the Gran Signore, the Lord of the Manor, the man of high society. He is so fancy. And then we have the Delirante. And make sure you guys can see those. Okay. And this is, you know, stupid actions, stupid behaviors. You know, they're just delirious. They're not delirious because they're happy. They're delirious because of poor choices. Things that they've done wrong. Now again, remember, this is the card that has led to your situation. This was too many options. So he was stuck to his past, chained to his past, a prisoner. For some, Lord of the Manor, being the man of the household. And also for some, it's, he chose someone else because, Lord of the Manor, the home, because of someone else that he was chained to, married to, obligated to, in a contract with. But for some, it was also like ego, like how will I be perceived? How will people look at me? So for some, that other option just looked real good. But it wasn't the best option for him. But that's neither here nor there. Your thing for you to focus on right now is you and your healing. Now we're going to do 3 of Spring. We'll wrap up with 7 of Autumn. Okay. And we're going to pull one other set of cards on that one. So we have the present. This is something that is given as a gift that is unselfish. It is full of value. See, it's full of jewels. We have the melancholia, and this is, you know, sadness, melancholy, depression. And then we have the lumino, and this is your marriage, your contract, your agreement, your vows. It is, you know, union, nuptials, solid bond. Sometimes this can also speak of a spiritual bond of a high nature. And again, this is on the card that is what's blocking you. So what is blocking you is you had this potential new love interest, and you thought, oh man, this is a true gift. This is, for some of you, it could have been a soulmate, could have been a twin. You're like, man, this is the love of a lifetime. This is a gift. But it ended. It ended. And you're now stuck in this state of sadness because you, for some of you, it's like, oh man, but I'm really still hoping that we're going to, because again, this is what's got you stuck. You are not moving forward. You're not taking your next steps. You're not taking those next steps because you're still hopeful that it's going to come together. You're going to be able to be in a relationship with this person. You're going to be able to move into a marriage with this person. For some of you, you're stuck because you do sense and you know that this is a relationship that is of a divine nature, and you're so stuck in evaluating like what went wrong, why is he not seeing this, why aren't we moving forward? But you have to let go. Because if this so for some of you, not all of you, because some people hold on to relationships that are not good for them because they think that it's a divine relationship, and it is not. That's why Archangel Michael often reminds people that there are extremely, very, 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 very few twin flames. I think it's like 0.00004 whatever percent. I actually did the percentage one day because he told me to, and I was like, my mind was kind of blown. I mean, it is such a minuscule percentage of people. But some people will stay in relationships, and he's always reminding that, no, there are very, very few. Now, more people are meeting their twin souls, but still not that many. But some people will stay in relationships and miss out on opportunities to be with someone who would be a divine love for them, a soulmate for them, because they're just so stuck. But whether this is a divine love or not, things are where they are at right now. And things are where they are at right now because you don't love yourself, because you don't think you are worthy of that love, because you are sad, because you are depressed, because you are not happy, you are not full of optimism. You do not respect yourself. Relationship with someone that's a divine relationship, or a relationship with anyone, won't work until you come back into a state of wholeness, of loving yourself, knowing your value, remembering you're amazing, changing this old story. You're blocked because this is all you're focusing on. You need to shift your focus. Focus on the things you need to do. Let this go. Because it's blocking you from healing, and it's ultimately blocking you from having the love that you desire. Okay. So for some of you, you're about to get some communications. This is what's unknown to you. You have the disperche. Worry, affliction, trials, troubles, irritation, sadness. You know, she's crying. You have the casa. Oh, and I just dropped a card. Casa, the home, the house, stability, your foundation. And then you have the stanza. And this is room. It also represents privacy, intimacy. But no one's there. No one's in the room. So for some of you, you're about to receive communications about a home, stability, security that he has elsewhere. Marriage that he's in, a commitment that he is in, and it's going to cause, because everything's all beat up, upturned, it's going to cause even more emotional turmoil for you. Because for some of you, you felt that that's what was going on. You felt that's why he disappeared, but you didn't have, you didn't have confirmation. You know, they kept talking about expectations. This is the bottom of this deck, which would be your overall energy. You had expectations that this would turn out a certain way, and it has not turned out that way. But you need to let the expectations go. And at this point, you do need to let the situation go to focus on you. This was that second layer. We have courthouse. Now this is not, there are two cards in this deck. One is actually that speaks about, you know, divorces, delusion, settlements. It's that I'll even show you. I think it's called adjudication. Oh, there it is. Yep, adjudication. This is your divorce card. So you're not going to find out news that he's getting divorced. This is what the divorce card is. Adjudication, decision, finalizing things legally. The courthouse is kind of like, you go to the courthouse to get papers to get married, or some people go to the courthouse to get married. So for some of you, you're going to be receiving communications that he is married to someone else, he has recently married someone else, he is engaged to someone else, but the reason he disappeared is because of this other person. And so this news that's going to come in is going to be unexpected. You kind of had a feeling, but just be prepared for that. Now, they're saying it's not going to be a surprise because you've already felt that something was off. Okay. So, let me move these. You're getting all types of bonus cards today. Okay. So the bottom of this deck, we have ego. Now I get why they were saying we're going to tie this up at the end. Okay. So, ego. See how they're like just burning? They're burning this thing. It's called guilt. This is a major arcana. At the bottom it says, the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. Because happiness can escape us. It can be elusive. It cannot be clear. We can't bring it to a manifestation. We can't bring it to life, particularly if we aren't clear on the things that we want. We're not clear about our priorities. We're not clear about our motivations, but also when we are not clear of other people's motivations, their priorities, their behaviors. Because again, the Grand Signore, he's a man who's very prideful. He has a lot of, sometimes he can have some arrogance. Think he's better than. He makes choices from ego, not from heart. But this is also, taking time to reflect on things and getting some clarity and releasing things and aspects and people that don't serve us, that are not good for us. Letting go of all of our fear and blame and worry and anxiety. Also having compassion for ourselves. Releasing ourselves from any traps, anything that we are keeping ourselves stuck. And really just getting out of that place of fear. Because for some of you, you're just immobilized because you're so fearful. Because the things you expected did not come to fruition. Now, to be very clear, this reading does not have an outcome. There are no outcomes anywhere in this reading. Okay? What this reading is this reading is talking about where are you currently and what is it that you need to do to get out of this situation that you're in and move forward to get the things that you desire. So it's giving you a picture where you're at and a picture what you need to do to get moving forward. No outcome in here. Because again, you already have some expectations and things just want to happen. So they're making it very clear that there are no outcomes in here. So that is a warning because, oh, now you tell me. Dang it. So there's no outcome. You have no outcome. Right now, what you need to focus on is your work. Do your work. Get your work done. Because regardless of what your situation is, you still need to do your work. Doesn't matter who this person is, what the connection is. Everyone in this situation has got to stop their focus, shift their focus, stop worrying about him, stop focusing on him, focus on you. Do these things. This is what you need to do. Because if you do this, it will help some of you bring a new love into your life. It will help you prepare for new love. But some of you are in a twin flame relationship. So So you've got your flame, you got your flame, you got your flame. And they were telling me this earlier, which I said that we are going to tie at the end. Now, for some of you, you could also be twin souls, they're saying. But on the other card underneath, the ego one, so essentially you got two different things. You got people that are in a relationship that was not going to work out, things being made of ego. But then you have some of you that are in a divine relationship. It is true love. For some of you, it is a twin flame, twin soul love. But that still does not change what you need to do. Now, obviously, what I have not said, twin flames are intended to come together. That's their purpose. That's what they're here for in twin flames. So, twin flames, yes, they're supposed to come into union. That's the plan. But twins will not come into union, even twin souls, unless they have done their work. So, whatever side you're on, whether you're on a side where this person is not who you're supposed to end up with, and you really have to let them go because they have someone better for you, or this person is a divine love. They can be twin flame, twin soul, they could even be a soulmate, and you are going to end up with them. You still have to let them go right now and focus on you. Because all sides of the house, you won't get a new love and you won't come together with this person until you do your work. And that is why they said that there are no outcomes here. Because even if you're a divine love, you know, twins can't come together unless they've done their work. If their healing's not done, because twins both have to be whole and complete and loving themselves. They have to love themselves unconditionally, because in order to love their other half unconditionally, that's them. If they don't love themselves unconditionally, they're not going to come into union. And those of you in this situation, you have got to do your work. You have to do this healing. You have to focus on you. You have to stop worrying about this. So, hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can let go. Everybody let go. Because it also, if you're looking at twin stages, surrender's like no joke. You really do have to some point just truly let go. Let go, let God. And you have to do that because A, you can't control its divine timing and all those things. But you're not yet at the point where it's divine timing, like everything's done, things are healed, you're just waiting for it to all come together and then to finish the final pieces. You are at a point that you still have to do this healing. Love yourself. Know your value. Know your worth. Set healthy boundaries. Love yourself enough to know that I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a twin flame. I don't care if you're a twin soul. I don't care if you're a soulmate. You will respect me. You will give me the love that I need, that I desire, that I expect, that I want. You will water my garden, or I will not have you in my life. And that takes a lot of love. You've got to love yourself a lot to do that. But that's the goal. That's what you're working towards. That's what, for this situation, that's what you have to get to. And for all situations, you have to get to that. Because no matter what your love life will be with whomever it's going to be with, you can't truly step into a really deep, divine, solid connection of love if you're not loving yourself. So that's what they're encouraging you to do. Get your work in, get your work done, and get ready for some new beginnings, some new starts. And I do wish you all an amazing month filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings.